Hi, I'm Terry Lynn, and today I would like to spend about 20 minutes showing you how to make a crochet chain that has the same tension and it doesn't vary. Small stitches, big stitches, lost stitches. So we will do a crocheted chain, and then I will show you how to use the stitch markers so that you don't lose your place, and do a single crochet into that crocheted chain, and then learn how to count stitches. So what you're going to need is you're going to need some 4-ply yarn. That's what I'm using today, and a crochet hook. Get some 4-ply yarn out here. I'm going to just use a basic yellow, and then the crochet hook I'm using is going to be an I hook, number 9. It shows you right there, I9. And then some stitch markers, and we're going to end up with a little piece that looks like this. There's other stitch markers. If you do not have purchased stitch markers, you could use bobby pins, or you could use safety pins. You could use the ones that are purchased, or you could even take some strips of yarn about 4 or 5 inches long and stick those in the spots that we need to mark. So that's kind of what you could do in case you don't have the ones that actually clip on, and all those will work fine. So to begin with, we need to make a slip knot. What I like to do is make a bow, wrap my yarn around the bow, and pull it through the loop that you wrapped around. And then you should have a thing that looks like that. Then hang on to the bow part and pull on this tail right here. This is the tail of your yarn, and this is the working yarn. Put your hook in the loop you created. Here's your tail. Here's your working yarn. When you first start your chain, especially this first stitch, you're going to want to leave this one a little loose. This part of your hook is the shaft, and that is where you're going to keep the tension on your yarn. So if you always have the same loop tension on the hook right here on the shaft, then your chain will be consistently the same size. So make this first one a little bit loose. Then I want you to pinch your knot so it doesn't go anywhere. You're going to use your 2 fingers here for your tension. Just take and put your yarn between there. Now, some people make it go around their little finger and different fingers like that. For this, I'm just going to do my 2 fingers. That's fine. So pinch your knot. This is your tension. You're going to be using these fingers to pull and let this loose. Go under your yarn, turn, pull through your loop, and you made your first stitch going on there. After you've made that, I want you to take a stitch marker, and I want you to mark that. This is number 1. And you want to keep track of number 1. So hook your stitch marker in there. And then I want you to check your tension. Get a hold of your working yarn. Get him out of the way. Check your tension on this loop so it's on the shaft, because it will have become loose while you were doing that. Go under your yarn, turn, and pull through that loop. Okay, we've made 2 stitches. Check your tension. Go around, turn, and pull through. And move your fingers up and pinch as you're going. Pinch this stitch you made, otherwise it could get really tight or loose. This way it keeps it just right. Everything stays where you've put it. Under, turn, pull through. Check your tension. Under, turn, pull through. Check your tension. And continue on going under, turn and pulling through and pinching. Your chain, the beginning of your project, your chain is very important. If you have a really good chain, the rest of your project should go really well. If you know where your stitches are, everything is the same tension, it's going to look nice. So pinch, go under, turn, and pull through. So I think for this piece, I'm just going to do 10 stitches because we're learning to turn. Going through the main stitches through here is usually pretty easy to do. It's when you're turning. So there's your number 1. If you look through here, you can see the black behind those stitches we have there. See, that's what you're counting, is each one of those circles. Some people call them V's. They have a little V mark on them. So number 1 is where the stitch marker is. So that's number 1. And then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now the one that has the working yarn going through it, that is a stitch. So that's number 8. But the one on the hook does not count as a stitch because it's not done yet. So we're going to do 2 more. We're going to go under, turn, pull through, pinch, that's number 9. Go under, turn, pull through, and that one there is number 10. And the one on here doesn't count. So now we're going to turn our work. So we've got a nice steady chain. To turn your work, you're going to chain 1, which is what we've been doing, and then you're going to go the second stitch from your hook. So the one with the yarn going through it, that is the first one, and then the one that doesn't have anything in it that you can see right there, that is your second one. So we're going to insert our hook into that second one, go under, turn, pull, and now we're going to go under, turn, and pull through both of them. At this point, what I want you to do is, this is the stitch, this was our turning stitch, our chain 1 turn. What I want you to do is take a marker and mark that under both of the yarns, the V there, so you go under both of them and hook that on. So that one's marked. These are important reference points. These are where you're going to be turning. Okay, now we're going to go down the chain back. So this stitch right here is full. It has yarn in it. This stitch, you can see, is empty. That one right there. So you got empty, 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 empty. All these are empty. So this one's full. We're going to go to the next empty one. Go under, turn, pull through, under, turn, pull through. You've just made 2 single crochets. This was your first one, this is your second one. Okay, now if you keep looking, you can see empty, 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 and this one right here is full. You can see how it pulls up on that circle. Okay, go through the empty one, grab your yarn, go through, pull, and turn. And then that one is full right there. Now we're going to do the next one, which is the empty one. Grab that yarn, pull them through, and you can see this one's full, this one's empty, 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 empty. Once you get to recognize these, go into this empty one. You got a full, empty, empty, empty. And keep pinching your work so it stays in place. Check your tension on your hook. The beginning chain is usually the hardest. You're just getting started. You're crocheting a little tighter. You just got to kind of remember to loosen up on the first one, because once you get going, then you just zip along and you forget, get a little looser when you're crocheting. Okay, you have 2 left. There's the one that's full, and here's empty, empty. So we're going to go into the first one, and then the second one, and you go right in with the stitch marker. Go right in there. Go under, turn, pull through. Now you're at the end. It should look like this. Okay, now you want to turn. So you're going to chain 1, and you're going to turn this way. Just turn it, just flop it around that way. This is for right-handed. So now what you're going to do is find that first stitch, and it's going to be right there. It's going to be right away, right close. You're going to go into that, grab your yarn, pull it through, check your tension, grab your yarn, turn, pull it through, and that'll be your next first crochet on the next row. And then this one here will be your second one. So what I want you to do on this one here, again, that one that was on the hook, you should take a stitch marker, go underneath both of the pieces of yarn, under that V, it's a V, and mark that one right there. That's your very first one. Okay. Now, you kind of take your fingers, you can actually even feel under there. Here's the top of the V. We're going to go under both of them. Sometimes the pattern will call for go under the front loop, which would be this one, or go under the back loop, which would be that one, or you can go under both loops. Today we're going to do both loops. So go under there, grab and turn, and pull it through. If you have trouble, just take your fingers and go wiggle, 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 and then you can see. Don't worry about stretching out the yarn. Once the yarn is washed and tumble dried, it springs right back. See, if you're just kind of looking, it's kind of hard to see that. You might just accidentally go in there and get your front loop only. So if you take your fingers and do a little wiggle wiggle on this very first row you're doing, you can catch that. Because it is a little hard to see that. You can just feel it. And there you go. Go under each one of those all the way down the line until you come to the end. Out in the middle it's usually pretty easy to crochet. It's when you get to the ends it gets kind of confusing. Now you have 2 left. You have a V there and a V there. This one's marked. So we'll go under the first one. If you can't see it, once again, take your fingers and make it visible so you get both of them. And then your end, you have that mark, so that one, even when you take your fingers and wiggle wiggle, it doesn't pop out as much as the others. That's why this first one you want to kind of make it looser. Okay, now you're at the end. Like before, chain 1, turn. Now you can see where you're going a lot better. You can see each one of the spots underneath the V's where you need to crochet. If you can't see them, take and wiggle your fingers and find them. So this will be your first one here. Okay, and this would be where we would put a chain on this chain 1, but I'm going to not put a chain on it. We'll see if we can find it when we come back this way. Okay, underneath both pieces of yarn. The V, a little easier to see going this way. Might not have to use your fingers as much to find them, but if you do, that's fine also. Go under, pull through, turn just like you've been doing. And if you want to go slow and accurate, that's what you're looking for right now, is not speed, but accuracy. And knowing where these stitches are so you don't end up losing a stitch. If you do make a mistake, see, here we are, we have 2 at the end. We've got a V here and a V here. That one's used. And then there's this one and this one. So go under there, grab that one. And then your end one is marked, but you need to learn to recognize it, because when we go back, it's not going to be marked. So there's the V right there. And you have to make sure you grab this one. Okay, once again, we're going to chain 1, and we're going to turn. These are easy to see again. You can look right through there and see where they are. Some of them a little more than others. If you have problems, take your fingers and feel them out. Okay, we go into here, your very first one, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go across, and then we're going to see if you can find this last one down here without the marker on it. If you need to mark them, if you feel comfortable marking them, go ahead and mark them. Stitch markers just pop right off when you get done. If you want to be really, really sure you're not missing a stitch, just go ahead and mark that chain 1 on each end. See, I almost missed that one because it popped out in between. We did a front loop only. Okay, we're down to 2. This one's full. There's this one, and then this one here that just sometimes doesn't get seen. So we go into here, grab the number 1, and then the end one. And you can go up in the top and see, you just make sure you get that V right there, that last V. Pull through the 2, chain 1, turn, go in where you can see easily. This is the very first one you use. Pull through those if you're inclined to do so. Here's where you would mark into that chain right there. And then go across. So, I guess we'll go across and then we'll count our stitches. So go ahead and go across here, and we will see if we ended up with 10 stitches. Keep your working yarn kind of pulled out of your skein so it doesn't get tight and pull on your stitches, because sometimes that makes it bind up and makes your stitch a lot tighter. Remember to use your 2 fingers for your tension. Go in here and then get that little sneaky one right there. Don't forget him. So when you're counting, this is the working yarn. We don't count that, but we count the one that it just came out of. So that's number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you can see each one of your V's and count each one of those. You can see each one of the V's right there. If you make a mistake, if you didn't have 10, you could just go ahead and rip out your work. This work rips out real easy. It just pulls right out. Sometimes it might have a little stuck spot if maybe you split the yarn, but you can work it out. But just go ahead and go back to wherever your mistake is. You could, like say if you pull this row out, go to here where your working yarn is. That's your chain 1 there, and just count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then you could just go from there. Just go back to where you think you made the mistake. Now, if you want to, you could make a scarf. I just want to show you this piece here. So this here is single crochet. This is 30 across, which makes it about 9 inches wide, and then you can go just as long as you want. So this here is the V's. This is through both of the V's. This here one here is the back loop only. And as I was showing you, back loop would be just going into this back loop back here when you're crocheting. And then this one up here is your front loop only. So you would be going through the front loop only. So this would be front loop, this would be back loop, and this is both the loops. So if you want to make a quick little scarf while you're practicing, both loops, I've got it written here if you need to look at it. This is both loops. This is back loop only, which kind of makes a ripple effect. And this is front loop. Just to give you a little project, just in case you want, while you're practicing, you want to end up with something. And you would just make this as long as you want. So I hope this helps you. Count your stitches. Don't lose any stitches. Keep nice straight edges. End up with the same amount of crochet chain as you started with, so you have a nice even piece. It comes out nice and even. Both the ends are nice and even. So I hope this helped you out today. Give me a like, subscribe, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you.